Happy birthday, Animal Kingdom! Jumbo friends, from my favorite Walt Disney World park, Disney's Animal Kingdom, which opened this weekend 25 years ago on Earth Day, April 22nd, 1998. So to celebrate the 25th birthday of this wonderful park, as well as Earth Month, we're headed around the park to see what Animal Kingdom was like opening day. I'm gonna do all of the opening day attractions and shows, pop into the opening day restaurants. We'll talk about what used to be, what never came to be. Plus, we'll be celebrating Earth Month with some of the treats that Disney's had available all April long. I hope you're ready. I hope you're excited. You know what it's gonna be. Wild. As I mentioned, Disney's Animal Kingdom opened on April 22nd, Earth Day, 1998. But the idea for Animal Kingdom goes back much further than that. In fact, it goes all the way back to Walt Disney. Walt Disney himself loved animals. In fact, the first time he ever got paid to draw anything was when he was a young boy in Marceline, Missouri, and the local veterinarian asked him to draw and paint some of his advertisements featuring horses and other animals. Walt Disney, again, grew up with this profound love of animals, and that's what led him to produce such iconic movies such as Dumbo and Bambi. As Walt got older and went into more types of filmmaking, he produced the beloved True Love Adventure series, which is a documentary-style series about different animal adventures that he saw when he was traveling the world. And it was that series that inspired him to want to create the Jungle Cruise. And when Walt dreamt it up, it was going to be real animals. However, they didn't have the resources to make Jungle Cruise with real animals back in 1955. For starters, they had no money, and elephants are very expensive. Number two, they had no space, and elephants take up a lot of land. And number three, most of the animals that Walt wanted to use were nocturnal, and it wouldn't be a very fun Jungle Cruise if you rode by and didn't see any animals. Which is why the Jungle Cruise has those mechanical animals that we know and love today. However, that original idea for the Jungle Cruise is what led the Imagineers to make Kilimanjaro safaris. They had the money, they had the land, and they had the resources to be able to figure out how to get the animals to stay on stage, whether it be from tempting them with treats or cooling rocks or what have you. Disney's Animal Kingdom, the fourth gate here at Walt Disney World, was part of the Eisner era, who was trying to complete multiple different projects, including Disney Cruise Line, Disney's Hollywood Studios, Euro Disney. He had some bad ideas too, like Disney's America and a floating Disney World theme park on a ship that would dock different places, Westcott. But when Michael Eisner thought of what a fourth park could look like here at Walt Disney World, he thought back to animals, and that is what started this entire thing. Originally, the park was going to feature animals of past, present, and mythical. More on that in the future. And he tapped Joe Rohde to be the lead Imagineer and lead developer on the project. Joe Rohde is one of my favorite Imagineers, and it is definitely a life bucket list dream to meet him. In fact, you can go on an Adventures by Disney to Antarctica trip right now, and Joe Rohde's going on one of them, but it's like $15,000, so I probably won't make it. My favorite story from the development of Disney's Animal Kingdom is when Michael Eisner was a little worried that just plain animals would be boring to people, and he thought we needed more thrill rides, we needed more excitement, and just having animals might not be enough. So Joe Rohde, unannounced, brought a real tiger to a meeting with Michael Eisner and the other executives. And he watched everybody's face drop. He watched everyone become silent. No one could focus on anything else but the tiger. And he walked out, and Michael Eisner never questioned again if people would be excited to see animals. Animal Kingdom cost the Walt Disney Company roughly $800 million to build. And when it opened, they had 1,000 different animals. These days, they've doubled that with 2,000 different animals of 200 different species. They also had at one time the world's most expensive roller coaster, Expedition Everest Legend of the Forbidden Mountain TM, which cost about $100 million to make. In addition to bringing in Joe Rohde, Disney did something very smart, and that was consult with different experts around the world. They not only consulted with different zoo experts and folks that are in charge of keeping different animals so that they knew how to best do it and best give care to the animals, but they also consulted with different animal experts such as Dr. Jane Goodall, who's famous for her work with gorillas. They wanted to make sure that this is a theme park like no other, and they even used the tagline, "Not a zoo." It's not a zoo! Meaning it is not a zoo, it is so much more. When Disney's Animal Kingdom opened, it opened up with the Oasis, which is where you walk through and still enjoy those plants and animal exhibits on your way in. You then entered Safari Village, which is now known as Discovery Island, which is kind of your hub center piece of the park that features the Tree of Life, as well as some shopping, dining, and animal locations. You had Africa and the village of Harambe, as we know and love today. You had Asia, looked very, very different. You had Dino Land USA, which was quite different as well. And then you had Camp Mini Mickey. Of course, there was no Pandora the World of Avatar when it opened. They had the last minute edition of Camp Mini Mickey, which again, we're gonna get more into. As far as the lands go, the one that is largely unchanged is the Oasis, which most people don't even think about as being an actual land of this park. But it is that entrance land. It's designed to be uphill so that you slow down and appreciate the nature around you. It's also designed to be very lush and green to contradict the flat, barren parking lot that you just came from. In the Oasis, you've got the Rainforest Cafe. That's been here since the beginning, as well as one of my favorite animal exhibits, the Anteater. And then as you crest the top of the hill, you can see the incredible Tree of Life. And you actually come in higher than the Tree of Life so that the people in front of it don't obstruct your view, and you get this picture-perfect image as you walk into the park. But did you know that Joe Rohde initially suggested a Noah's Ark be the icon of the park that you would go through? Luckily, however, Joe and the Imagineers decided that Noah's Ark wouldn't be welcoming to all guests and to be pretty polarizing. Made a statement maybe they didn't want to make, so instead they went with the wonderful Tree of Life, which is 145 feet tall and it has over 300 animals hand carved into it. I've talked about the Tree of Life quite a bit in different videos. If you want to know more kind of the secrets and details and things throughout the different attractions in Animal Kingdom, definitely check out our Secret series. But I love looking at the Tree of Life. I could stare at it for hours and just notice different creatures that I hadn't noticed before. You're gonna see big ones like the hippo right here, as well as the owl and the scorpion. And I have to remind you that the artists only had 8 hours to carve each animal to make sure they got it done before the plaster dried. And when you look at the detail on some of these creatures, that is absolutely incredible. When the park opened, this whole area was called Safari Village. And a lot of the things are still the same. Some of the same food and beverage locations. Of course, the Tree of Life has been here the whole time. We also have some of the dining locations you know and love. But again, this is called Safari Village. And before we get too far, I want to point out an attraction that's no longer with us, but forever in our hearts, the Discovery River boats. They were these boats that you would board and they would take you to Asia on a one-way trip on the river. They didn't last very long, but forever in our hearts. I absolutely adore the Tree of Life. I think it's so absolutely beautiful. I think this park is the most beautiful Disney park I've ever been to. And I am in line to get some photos with the Tree of Life because they have special magic shots. However, this is not where I recommend getting your picture with the Tree of Life because look at all those people in the background. Throughout the video, I'll show you some other spots where you can get a much better picture with no one in the background, but we love a magic shot. Silly me went to the wrong PhotoPass cast member. It turns out it was the cast member up towards the top of the hill. There's also some cast members outside that had some different magic shots, but the one in here was really cool because they had a prop made out of recycled materials from Disney World. So I love that. Also not making it much further because we're gonna make a pit stop here with the Wilderness Explorers. This is a free game that you or your kids can play around the park where you stop at the different Wilderness Explorer stands and collect various badges. But it's super fun right now because they have a special Earth badge. So I'm gonna be joining the Wilderness Explorers now. All right, this is Andy. He's gonna initiate me into the Wilderness Explorers.
Yes, friends, in order to become a Wilderness Explorer, you have to do our Wilderness Explorer call together. So we get our fingers like this, we make a big W.
Okay.
And then you repeat after me, the wilderness.
The wilderness
must be explored.
must be explored.
Excellent, and after that we raise our hands, we turn them and we cross them, doing like a bird, and then we give our best cuckoo, cuckoo!
Caw-caw, caw-caw.
Amazing, and then our last one, we put our paws up and we do our best lion roar.
Roar.
There we go, and just like
Thank
that,
you.
you're a Wilderness Explorer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm officially a Wilderness Explorer. I got my handbook, I got my welcome sticker. This is such a fun activity that I feel like most people don't take advantage of. It's especially great if you've got little ones. They've got all of these over 20 different spots around the park that have cast members there that do little activities with the kids, and then they collect stickers that go with them. A lot of times the activities have to do with the animals that are around that area of the park. And again, there's a special badge you can get just this week up at the location we're going to in a little bit. I've been distracted. I'm very clearly wearing these Lion King ears. Lion King's my favorite Disney movie, but look at these. Do I need these too? These are very good. The first opening day restaurant on our list today, Pizzafari. This is one of those restaurants that serves the classic Disney puffy pizza, not my personal favorite spot to eat, but thank goodness they also have one of the Earth Day treats, so I'm headed in to grab it now. No shade to the puffy pizzas, except for also shade. I loved them as a kid. I thought they were really fun. If you got really picky eaters, they're not bad, but there's just so much better food in the Animal Kingdom these days that I would recommend you eat that. Beverage acquired, and I'm taking this to my favorite spot to luxuriate in Animal Kingdom in hopes that we can drink this and also see some of the fun surprise characters. Welcome to my favorite spot in Disney World, the luxurious path behind the Tree of Life. I love to normally have my coffee here, but today, of course, we're having this blue beverage. More on that in a moment. But I love to come back here because even on the busiest days, it's always calm and cool collected. I'm usually alone back here, or there's very few other people. Plus, the character flotillas go right by. Little butterfly. The character flotillas go right by here, and they are doing special characters for Earth Month, so I'm hoping we can catch a peek of them while I'm here. I just love it back here. It's so relaxing and so calm. This beautiful blue cocktail. It's actually a mocktail. I went for the non-alcoholic version because I have more cocktails I'm interested in later. But this is the Viva Gaia Tonic. It's got Minute Maid Zero Sugar Lemonade, Sprite, flavors of cotton candy, mint leaves, and a glow cube. And you can get it Sans Glow Cube if you want to save a few dollars. You can also get it Sans Glow Cube plus gin if you want an alcoholic version. But this sounds like I'm not going to love it, so I didn't want to pay for the gin version, especially when there's other cocktails to be had today. Pizzafari also has a celebratory elephant cupcake. It's the same one they have over at Restaurantosaurus. It's a pineapple-filled cupcake. I'm not a huge cupcake fan or a huge pineapple fan, so I didn't want to waste the cupcake, but they do have that too if you're into those flavors. Well, cheers. Oh, it's so sweet. I'm mostly tasting Sprite. I think the blue is the cotton candy and it's all the way down at the bottom, so I'm sure I'll get hit with that later. This is fine. If you like Sprite, I think you'll like it. I think your kids will like it. The mint is slightly refreshing, getting that cotton candy sugary sweetness. This isn't something that I would normally order, but I do like that they have non-alcoholic and alcoholic versions of some of the celebration drinks. Again, kids will enjoy this, but I've got a feeling we're gonna have better drinks today. Also, isn't it amazing when you think about how far Animal Kingdom's dining has come and theme park dining in general? Animal Kingdom used to only have pretty basic food like Pizzafari, like burgers. They literally had McDonald's in the park as well. And now I feel like Animal Kingdom is a very close second to Epcot for the best dining in a Disney theme park in Walt Disney World. I think that Tiffin's and Nomad Lounge are wonderful. I think the addition of the characters in the buffet to Tusker House was a great upgrade. I think that there's a lot of great snacks like Mr. Kamal's fries, of course my beloved cheeseburger pods of Pandora. I just feel like Animal Kingdom's got some really great cuisine and drinks, and it's really stepped it up, and that's why I shade Pizzafari, because Pizzafari used to be a fine option, but now it's bottom of the barrel in my opinion when you've got so many other great things. I hear someone coming. Aww. I mean, I'm never sad to see Scrooge McDuck and Launchpad McQuack, but they are not the special characters. They're cute though. Hi, Launchpad sees me. They found the Tree of Life, that's cute. Alright, well the good news is, usually with these flotillas, once one starts going, they all start going because they kind of come out in a few minute succession of each other, so let's hope we see some of the other characters soon. In the meantime, I'll just be here drinking this and wishing it was an iced coffee. Hey girl, hey! Pocahontas is here now. I really wish she still did meet and greets. I love Pocahontas. I like Nico too, especially like how they're the same height. Nico is much bigger than I thought he would be after seeing the movie. Aww, the cuties from Up are here. They're not necessarily new for Earth Day, but they are a newer addition to the floats.
Greetings,
Doug is so cute. Hi, Russell. I hear one more float. I really hope it's a special one, and I really hope the special one is from Brother Bear because I love Coda, and I feel like he doesn't get much love. Oh my god, it is. It is, it is. I can hear the music. Yeah! Hi, Coda! Hi, Kenai! You guys are so cute! I love you! They're so cute!
Explorers and adventurers, in honor of our Earth Day celebration, look who's making a special surprise visit. Turn your attention to the Discovery River and say hello to our brother bear friends from the north, Coda and Kenai.
I'm like peak Disney adult right now. I just really like Coda. He's one of my favorite Disney characters. I feel like there's never any representation. And that movie's really, really cute. And horribly sad, which is another reason for my emotional reaction. So watch it. I'm doing a good job endorsing it. Well, that was lovely. Those are hopefully not the last fun characters we see today, but we have a lot more wilderness and adventure to explore. Along with the Tree of Life obviously being an opening day attraction, the Tree of Life Garden opened as well. This is one of the most underutilized trails, I feel like. This one and the one that I like to luxuriate on that we'll hit in a little bit. People never seem to go here, but you can see different animals. You can get really cool views of the Tree of Life. It's just really, really beautiful and peaceful to walk back through here. And you can get some of the best shots of the tree. Hello, James. How are you?
Thank you.
Hi, Turk. How are you? You play any music on any teacups recently?
Oh, yes.
Your campsite, right? You got a
We
little.
love that treehouse too.
Oh,
Every time we have
goodness.
tea time, there's the music that accompanies it.
You know what? I like that song though, so I can't blame you. Yes.
I have been trying to teach you how to use the photograph rather than dismantling it. It's a bit like that. A whole hell of a little, but that's all right.
I understand. May we take a photo? Oh, thank you.
2, 3, perfect.
You Turk, so lovely to see you. I would love to. That was such a fun little surprise. So I had heard tell that in the Tree of Life Garden this week, they were having surprise character meet and greets. And online I had seen that the first day it was Baloo and King Louie from the Jungle Book. Then I saw Tinkerbell and one of her fairy friends. And today it was Jane and Turk from Tarzan, who I have not seen in a decade, which was really cool. And I wish they did more stuff like that. But onward, we continue here on former Safari Island. Disney has dropped a bunch of Lion King merchandise recently. I'm afraid to look at it. Speaking of merchandise, they do have some specialty stuff coming out for the 25th anniversary. They have a Spirit jersey, a lounge fly, a couple of other items. Unfortunately though, well, not unfortunately, I'll be in Disneyland the day that those come out. So here's some nice Disney photos of them. And they're also coming out with some specialty treats just for the anniversary that are different than the Earth Day treats we're trying right now. But speaking of Earth Day treats, we're headed to Flame Tree Barbecue to pick up a few more. Oh, and Kevin's here. Hi, Kevin. She's so beautiful.
She is so silly.
We are here at Flame Tree Barbecue, another opening day restaurant that's been serving up ribs and chicken and pulled pork since the beginning. And lucky for me, they also have a couple of our Earth Day treats to try. Flame Tree Barbecue has some of the best seating options in my opinion. Yes, it's all outside, which can be a bummer because Animal Kingdom's the hottest park, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's like a tropical oasis back here with these different pagodas. They do have fans in them. And then if you sit out on the water, you're actually sitting with Everest and you can see the character floats go by. So it's quite nice. And I think this is a pretty decent quick service option if you are a barbecue fan. But no barbecue will be had this day because I ordered a bunch of pink sugary stuff. Please say hello to the Bubbling Pink Lagoon. This is with Minute Maid Strawberry Lemonade, Sprite, and Kiwi flavor. Can again come with a glow cube. I opted out this time. You can also get it with vodka, but I've got different drinks on my horizons. And this little cutie right here is the Flamingo Cupcake. It's strawberry cake with strawberry compote filling, guava buttercream, pink crispy curls, a sugar flamingo with white chocolate wings. And even though I am not a massive cupcake fan, I do love strawberry, and I think it's really cute. So let's give it a shot. It is so pink. Okay, this thing is incredibly sweet, but it's not bad. The cake itself is delicious. I wish I had a cake of just this cake with the strawberry filling. Wish there's a little bit more of that, but that's really good. It doesn't taste artificial like a lot of strawberry cake does. I could use less of the frosting. I don't love guava, and it's also just like a massive amount of frosting, but it's very light and well-made frosting. That's not my thing. But overall, for someone that's not a huge cupcake person, this is pretty darn good. Now let's wash that pink sugar down with some pink sugar, shall we? Ooh. I like this one way more than the other one, probably because I love strawberry and I don't like blue curacao. Tastes like a strawberry lemonade more than anything. It's a little bit sweeter than normal because of the Sprite. Can't really taste the kiwi. It looks like it's down at the bottom, so I'm sure I'll get it more. Again, this isn't something that I would typically order, although I do think with vodka this would be quite good. But if you've got kids, people that don't drink, just want a fun, refreshing drink, this isn't bad. So these are only supposed to stick around for Earth Month, but sometimes they, if they're popular, they'll keep them around longer. They'll bring them back throughout the year. So personally, I like this one more than the Viva Gaia, but not bad. The last of the opening day restaurants here in Safari Village is Terra Treats, which is a little pizza stand. It's actually usually only open seasonally, and again, not where I'm gonna recommend eating in this park. What I would recommend though is 8 Spoon Cafe, where you can get baked macaroni with pulled pork and pickles on top. It's delicious and a great snack for late lunch. Of course, Discovery Island does have one attraction amidst all the dining and shopping, and that's It's Tough to Be a Bug, which is a very divisive attraction because some people love it, but more people hate it. And that's probably because it's a nightmare for many young children and some adults, as it's a 3D movie inside the Tree of Life, all about how tough it is to be a bug, hosted by your friends from A Bug's Life. I know you might be thinking, Molly, that sounds so cute and delightful. And it is, except for when the giant animatronic spiders drop from the ceiling, the fact that it's dark, you get poked in the back by a hornet, stink bug, gigantic hopper animatronic. Truly one of Disney's most frightening attractions of all time. Now, I personally like this attraction. I've liked it since I was a kid, but I've never been to a show and not heard a screaming child. So just a heads up. It is a very cool queue, one of the coolest, because you are literally weaving and wobbling your way through the Tree of Life. You get to go into the roots, and the theater itself actually takes place inside the base of the tree. Fun fact, they actually considered putting a restaurant in there, but they couldn't make it work logistically. It would have been really small, so they ended up turning it into this theater. I like It's Tough to Be a Bug. I, again, love the queue, but I also think it's a really good filler attraction in between some of these heavy hitters. It's inside in the air conditioning. It doesn't usually have too long of a line. So I think it definitely has its place. I would like to see it updated. I think they could tell a different story in the same theater, but I won't complain, because you know who has it harder than me? The bugs. And I learned that from this show. I also do have to pause here for the funny puns on all the signs. Like Weevil Knievel, you'll go nuts over this act, because he throws acorns. The termite, he's armed and ready for action. Claire de Room, get it? Claire de Room, you get it. Her performance is a real gas. Chili, when it comes to throwing quills, he's a hit. And the Dung Brothers, the dynamic duo. Well-balanced pair of performers were born for these roles. Get it? You get it. Hilarious. Also, get those cameras out. I mentioned Jane Goodall earlier, but you actually have a carving here at the base of the Tree of Life. This is dedicated to her. This carving is of her favorite chimpanzee, David Greybeard. I think earlier I said she worked with gorillas, but mayhaps she works with all primates. Anyway, you can sit right there and take a cute picture with him. Like this one from when I was a child. I do like that around the lobby area they have theater posters, but they're all bug puns, like My Fair Ladybug. But then if you read the posters more, it actually gives you interesting facts about whatever bug it is. There's no filming once the show begins, so see you on the other side. I do think that show is cute. Definitely not a must-do, but adorable regardless. Next up, we head into Asia, which honestly, when looking at the opening day map, feels kind of like a shadow of itself. There really wasn't much to do in this part of the park, especially because the headliner attraction, Expedition Everest Legends of the Forbidden Mountain TM, wouldn't open for several years, and Cali River Rapids wouldn't open for several months, which, lucky for me, because I did not want to ride that today. You did have Drinkwalla, which is this little stand right here that serves frozen Cokes and frozen beverages. Here's my favorite thing about Drinkwalla. It's got this little sign right here that says Lovely River View, and if you go over this way into this little pagoda temple, it really does have a lovely river view. This was actually one of my favorite places to watch kite tails. May it rest in peace. You also had Mr. Kamal's, which we know now is a delightful fry spot, but then it served burgers. But I just love the detail of this park, from the signage to the architecture. They had to make this entire park look old and rusted and weathered, even though it was brand new, and they nailed it. Now, the last thing in Asia when the park opened was the Caravan Theater here, and it was home to a show called Flights of Wonder, which featured real birds and their keepers, demonstrating some of their amazing tactics out in the wild and educating you about birds. This show is still around, of course, but it's gone through a few iterations. For a while, it was Up, a great bird adventure, and it included characters from Disney Pixar's Up, like Russell and Doug.
And I am a wilderness explorer in Tribe 54, Sweat Lodge 12.
Hi there. Are you all ready to meet the birds that call this place home?
Hello.
Nowadays, it's turned back to more of its roots, and it's called Feathered Friends in Flight, and it is more of an educational show. The bits from Up are gone, the characters are gone, but the hosts are still very funny, and as someone who doesn't particularly love birds, I have to say it's very interesting, and the birds are very talented, so let's go.
Here, my friend. We have a friend out here who's ready. Okay, now he knows exactly where to land, so he can take your money. Yeah, and he also learned another really cool thing. Here you go. Where would you like to put it, bud?
They have very strong feet. Everything about them makes them the perfect nighttime predator for sure. They can actually introduce themselves. What's your name?
Gabriella.
Gabriella. Whoa, is your name Molly?
Molly!
You are my sunlight, violin sun. Make me happy. When I rain, you'll never know me. I'm a diamond. So clear from hate. My dear sun, fly away. Very nice.
Third show complete. Is that my number one show in the park? No. That would, of course, be Festival of the Lion King, which we'll see in a little bit. But is it my number 2 show in the park? No. Not if you count the Streetmosphere and the street performers in Africa and here on Discovery Island. But is it my number 3 show in the park? You bet it is. I especially like the fact that there's a bird named Molly that sings. But I really think that's kind of what Animal Kingdom's all about, teaching you about different animals while entertaining you. It's about a 20 or so minute show. Doesn't usually fill up, so you don't need to use a lightning lane. It's a good one to sit, take a break, have a laugh, and learn about a bird or two. Now we are headed through the rest of Safari Village and onward to Africa. Welcome to the village of Harambe. We have made it to Africa, one of my favorite lands. Africa was definitely the most poppin' of the lands when this park opened. You had shops like Tamu Tamu Eats and Refreshments, where you can now get yourself a Dole Whip. You had the Tusker House restaurant, which these days is a buffet with characters, Donald, Mickey, Goofy, and Daisy in their safari gear. It's adorable. But when it opened, it was actually a quick service restaurant. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Tusker House reservation. Got a lot of other things to do and eat. But I am going to pop over to the Dawa Bar, which is the walk-up bar near Tusker House, because they have a couple specialty beverages. I grabbed the Honey Bee Citrus Ale from the Dawa Bar. They have this at a few of the different bars around the park, at Thirsty River in Asia as well, Restaurantosaurus Lounge. This was brewed by First Magnitude Brewing Company, which is out of Gainesville. They've already been brewing the Tiger Eye Gold Ale, which has some mandarin orange in it as well. That one's great, I've had it. But this one they brought in just for Earth Month. And the reason they chose this one is because it celebrates our pollinators, the bees. Of course, the bees are very important, and the bees are also dying, so that makes me sad. But this beer is brewed with solar-grown honey, which has been part of a solution that scientists and beekeepers and people much smarter than I have worked together to help preserve bees and make life easier on them, and it's a good solution. I don't understand it at all, so please don't ask me. Maybe there's an environmental scientist watching this and you can explain it down in the comments. From my research, I understand that it's good for the bees and it's good for the environment, and that's what's in this beer. So cheers. That is lovely. I love a blonde ale, not just because of the obvious reasons, but it's light and it's crisp. There's a slight sweetness from the honey. There's a little bit of citrus note in there too. Oh, it's so refreshing on this hot Animal Kingdom day. One thing I love about the Disney parks is they have been adding more and more craft beers into the parks. And as someone who loves craft beer and trying new things, I like that I have options when I go to the bars that aren't just your classic Bud Light and Yuengling, etc. So if this is around when you're here and you want a light, crisp, refreshing beer that helps the bees, here you go. Also, maybe you're thinking, Molly, why would you have them pour this in a plastic cup? It's Earth Day after all, just drink it out of the can. Well, you know what? I would love to just drink this out of the can. I prefer drinking it out of the can, and again, it's less plastic. But one time I asked for the can, and I was told I can't have the can, because they used to give the cans out, and then people were throwing them at the animals, particularly the crocodile in Dino Land USA. So now, because some humans are the worst, they have to pour every can into a plastic cup. Isn't that annoying? I'll make sure to recycle it, but still, obnoxious. Tusafiri Coffee Shop and Bakery, also an opening day spot. These days you can grab flatbreads, which are actually quite good. The chicken one is delightful. They've also got impossible empanadas and a variety of beverages, including coffee with Amarillo liqueur, which is a South African liqueur that I'm a huge fan of. This used to be where you could get the big Mickey cinnamon roll, the 3-circle cinnamon roll. That's not here anymore. It's at Creature Comforts, which is the Starbucks. So there you go. And while Rafiki's Planet Watch is currently considered part of Africa, when the park opened, it was its own land. So we're gonna derail from our Africa tour here and go up to Rafiki's Planet Watch because it does close earlier than the rest of the park. Headed to board the Wildlife Express train. I can hear it coming, so good timing. Rafiki's Planet Watch is comprised of a couple different experiences, starting with the Wildlife Express train. Up the land nowadays, you've also got the animation experience where you can learn to draw different animal characters with a Disney artist. It's lovely and very relaxing. They've got a couple of different animal exhibits, some wilderness explorer spots, and most importantly, the affection section where you can pet goats and sheep.
We offer here at Disney's Animal Kingdom for some of the exciting wildlife we might encounter along the way, and the first animated feature to bring live animals into the studio.
Made it up to Rafiki's Planet Watch. First things first, these benches used to be all around Discovery Island, and they're made out of recycled milk jugs, and I love them, and they're so colorful, but they're only up here now. But I have very specific memories of those benches, which is kind of weird. I love that little train ride up here because you can actually see behind the scenes for the animal barns where some of the animals live. You may even catch a glimpse of an animal. We could spot rhinos and an ostrich. And if you watch The Magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom on Disney Plus, you'll see the facilities that you see in the show, which is neat. First things first, look how beautiful it is. I love that mural. And if you look at the concept art of it, it looks exactly the same. They nailed it. But before we can pet goats, we have to get our badge. What do I need to do to earn this badge?
Yeah, so there are a couple of things, but if you wanted to, we could sketch.
I'm gonna do a leaf rub?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. Wait, can I pick that shell?
Yeah, you can do the shell as
Oh.
well. Anything you like.
I love an aquatic creature. So. Here is my art, I guess we can call that. Kind of being generous with the word art there. Thank you. This is my special Earth Week sticker that you can only get this week. But how many other stickers are there?
So there's about 23, 24 other stickers.
Awesome. Got my Earth Week sticker. I've done Wilderness Explorers several times. I think it's so cute. It's obviously meant for children, but I think it's such a great activity to get children excited about going around the park, learning different animal things, hands-on experiences. They've got a bunch of them up here at Rafiki's Planet Watch. They have them even in Pandora. A lot of them are on the animal trails. Free activity. You can do one sticker. You can do all the stickers. You can split it up over days. So a really great underrated activity in my opinion. Here inside Conservation Station, this is where that animation experience is. I do love the animation experience, and because we're at Animal Kingdom, you're going to be drawing animal characters. Let's see what animals are in here. Usually it's smaller things. Oh, I see it. Snake warning. Boom. There it is. Where's your head, Slytherin friend? Are you sleeping? Isn't it so wild how well that snake camouflages? Kind of terrifying, but awesome. Again, it's mostly smaller animal exhibits in here, like different lizards. There's a little lizard guy. They also have cast members in here sometimes teaching you about different animal care. There was someone talking about nutrition and feeding the animals. There's also this veterinary view that sometimes, very rarely, you can see people doing procedures on the animals, but enough delay. Let's go pet a goat. The affection section is a cute little area, petting zoo style, where you can pet pigs and goats and sheep. The pigs are fun because they're actually the pigs that the animators modeled after for Pua in Moana, so they're pretty famous. And I love this, so let's go see if we can find my favorite goat. Look at this pig. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, look at this pig. Hi, piggy. Hi, Bueller.
Bueller?
I've missed you. You're such a handsome devil. Look at you. You are so cute. Can I pet you, Bueller? Hey, bud. Bueller is one of my favorite goats. He's my first favorite goat. All of the older goats are named after 80s things, which is why he's Bueller. Bueller is like just living his best life. Hey, Bueller, do you want to take a selfie? Bueller? Look at these guys. So Bueller is my first love when it comes to the goats up here because he's the one I started petting the most when I would come to this park regularly. But this, oh my gosh, wait, these two, I'm distracted. These two are having a moment. You guys talk it out. Violence is never the answer. Anyway, this goat right here that I can't pet right now is named Kronk. So obviously I have an affinity for that goat too. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte. Doing some scritchy scratchies? Yeah? Oh, okay. Had a very nice time at the affection section. Bueller was very friendly as always. Plus, I learned a fun fact from one of the animal keepers that the pigs are called Kuni Kuni pigs, which are a breed of pig from New Zealand. And Kuni means plump. And in that culture, if you say it twice, you're just trying to emphasize it. So the pigs, Charlotte and Dottie Bell, are plump, plump pigs. And I like that. Perfect timing. The train has arrived. We're headed back to Africa to have some snacks and of course a few headliners. Made it back to the village of Harambe, where, fun fact, the map used to encourage you to engage with the citizens of Harambe who were walking around ready to speak to travelers about their village. They don't really have that much now, but they do have the amazing musicians and streetmosphere performers. I love the acrobats as well as the drummers. I think they are one of the best parts of Animal Kingdom, is just how alive this park feels with that entertainment, so highly recommend. We, however, are at the Harambe Fruit Market, another opening day snack stand. This is typically where you can get some healthier, lighter items like fruit. They also have pretzels and hot dogs and a few other things, drinks, but they have one signature item that is oh so delicious. Thank you, appreciate it. Corn on the cob. It is so good. And I know it's like just corn on the cob, but it's not just corn on the cob. It is freshly grilled corn on the cob, coated in butter and then African seasoning. Cheers. Oh, good. It's like, it shouldn't be this good. It's, I don't want to say it's the best corn on the cob I've ever had because my whole family is from Iowa and they are farmers of corn. And I feel like I will get kicked out of my family, but it's not the best corn I've ever had. And that's because of this seasoning blend. It's an African seasoning blend, so there's the tiniest bit of heat, but it's mostly like curry and coriander and pepper and garlic, and it is so delicious, and it is fresh. It's amazing. And I'm so glad the Harambe Fruit Market has been around for 25 years. And I'm so glad you can get delicious corn there. Corn complete. And now it is time to head over to my favorite thing in the park, Festival of the Lion King. This was an opening day show, but it actually almost didn't happen. It was a last minute addition. There actually weren't plans for Festival of the Lion King or the land that it originally resided in. Camp Mini Mickey when they were developing Animal Kingdom. But because they were delayed and because they were over budget, they weren't able to work on Beastly Kingdom, which we're going to talk a little bit more about in a minute. So Michael Eisner had them add in like a kiddie area, which they called Camp Mini Mickey, and they threw together Festival of the Lion King at the last minute. You know what? And actually that makes me feel better because sometimes I, like all of us, tend to procrastinate on something. So it's good to know that Disney also procrastinates on things. So, you know, when you had a project in last minute or you push a task off to the last minute and then you pull out old parade floats from Disneyland and get a fire dancer and train performers to be acrobatic birds and gymnastic monkeys, and come up with amazing choreography and costumes. And yeah, Disney's procrastinating and my procrastinating are very different. But as I was saying, Festival of the Lion King took place in Camp Mini Mickey, which is a land that no longer exists because of James Cameron. Specifically, Pandora, the world of Avatar. That's where Camp Mini Mickey used to be. And at Camp Mini Mickey, you could obviously see Festival of the Lion King. This is also where you could meet a bunch of your characters. That's where you had Mickey and Minnie and all the gang in their cute safari outfits that they still have today. They also had a show there called Pocahontas and Her Forest Friends, and it was a stage show with live animals like raccoons and birds and all of her Colors of the Wind-esque friends. There was a Grandmother Willow interactive experience, as well as a few snack stands. Unfortunately though, Camp Mini Mickey, which was entirely supposed to be temporary, closed in 2014 to make way for Pandora. Luckily though, Festival of the Lion King was such a crowd pleaser, such a fan favorite, that they built its very own theater here in Africa, and Festival of the Lion King has been dazzling guests ever since. Festival of the Lion King is not only my favorite thing in Animal Kingdom, it is most likely my favorite thing in all of Walt Disney World. It is an absolutely incredible show with acrobats and live vocals and stilt performers and dancers and fire and aerial artists. It's so wonderful, and it's all set to that incredible music from Lion King. I think one of the reasons I like it so much is it's not trying to tell you the story of Lion King in a 30-minute span. It's just trying to celebrate the music, and it makes me cry every time. And there's these huge puppets and Simba. Oh my, okay, we gotta go see it. It's the best, and it's been going strong for 25 years. Now, it's good to note that Festival of the Lion King is very, very popular, so it's not a bad use of a lightning lane to reserve your spot. However, note you cannot be late with your lightning lane. Sometimes at rides, they'll give you a grace period on the back end. That's not the same as shows because there is a set time. If you're not using Genie Plus or you don't want to use a lightning lane here, coming towards the end of the day is great. I'm actually looking at the queue for the last show of the night because most people hop out of Animal Kingdom into other parks. So that's a good time to see it as well. But this is a can't miss, must do in my opinion. It is the absolute best.
Hey, guys!
Festival of the Lion King just warms my heart every single time. I get teary every time the birds fly. It's just incredible. But from one headliner to the next, we are now headed to the headliner of all headliners, the flagship attraction at the park, Walt's original dream, Kilimanjaro Safaris. This is that approximately 25-minute safari tour through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and this is your chance to see the real animals of Animal Kingdom. Elephants, lions, giraffes, zebras, rhinos, hyenas, my personal favorite. Oh, it's so amazing. Kilimanjaro Safaris is an absolute can't miss when you're here because this is what Animal Kingdom is all about. It's also the biggest ride in Walt Disney World. You could fit all of Magic Kingdom into this ride. That's how big it is because that's how much room they need for all these animals. Now, as you can imagine, Kilimanjaro Safaris is incredibly popular. It gets a very, very long line. So my recommendation is to either use Lightning Lane here, but still try and do it in the morning or the evening. One, it's gonna be cooler for you as a guest on the safari, and two, because it's cooler most of the time, that's when the animals are more active. In the dead heat of the day, you're not likely to see some of the animals like the big cats because they're hiding in the air-conditioned space that's available to them. But if you go in the morning, you're more likely to see the lions, you're more likely to see animals walking around. Same thing with the evening because it's close to supper time, so the animals are excited. For me, it's kind of a toss-up which one I want to do. I've seen the lions actually get up and roar in the morning time, which is amazing. But my favorite animal on the safari is the hyena. And the hyena switches spots with the African painted dogs in the late afternoon. So if I want to see the hyenas, I got to go on that evening safari. So fingers crossed we see them today. Let's go. And like I was saying earlier, the line tends to drop in the late afternoon, evening because most people don't stay to this park till it closes. They come to this park in the morning and then hop out of it because this park doesn't have a nighttime show. It's usually closes the earliest. That's actually a huge problem that the Imagineers had when they were opening Animal Kingdom. Part of the reason they added Camp Mini Mickey was to encourage people to stay longer and give them more things to do, as well as give them some more kiddie options. because they knew people would consider Animal Kingdom a half-day park. And a lot of people still do, even with the addition of Pandora, with Expedition Everest, with more attractions and more shows. A lot of people only spend half a day at Animal Kingdom. And to me, that's a real bummer. I love this park. I think it's amazing. I do hope they bring back a nighttime spectacular. Obviously, they can't do fireworks here like they can at another park for the animals, but they have done a few iterations of water projection shows across from Expedition Everest on that amphitheater. And while none of them so far have been amazing, in my opinion, they have the chance to maybe do something akin to World of Color. And I really hope they do at some point. Now, as we walk through this queue, we gotta talk about the OG safaris. Does anyone else remember it? It had a plot. Nowadays, if you ride safaris, you're just gonna get a guide with very knowledgeable information about the different animals you're seeing. But when safaris first opened, you had a whole plot. And you met Wilson Matua, the warden of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. And then you had to help your safari driver catch poachers that had murdered an elephant. And actually, when the ride first opened, they had a rubber model of the dead elephant. Big Red, Little Red's mom. They had an animatronic of Little Red who you'd save at the end. And for just a few weeks, they had like a giant dead elephant. But during previews and things, people said, that's a little dark. And so they scrapped that. But if you saw the dead elephant, I'd like to know in the comments, because that is wild to me. I've only ever seen pictures of it. They also had this like squeaky drop bridge. If you don't remember that, you'd drive over that bridge and it would like drop and your whole truck would shake. And it was honestly terrifying. But they dropped all that. Again, now it's just a nice safari ride. But man, this ride has seen some things. Also, let me know down in the comments, did you like the poacher situation, or do you like just the simple safari now? Moving right along, right next to the exit of Kilimanjaro Safaris, you've got the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Another opening day walkthrough experience where you could see live okapis and hippos underwater and monkeys and all sorts of animals. Of course, the headliner here is gorillas, which is why it's called Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. But at one point they did change the name to the Pangani Exploration Trail. But my hypothesis is that not enough people knew what that was and weren't coming, and they really wanted people to come check out the gorillas. The okapi section was blocked off, sadly. I love the okapis, but let's see if we can find the naked mole rats, because that's a close second, I guess.
Oh, he just called through that little hole.
I thought it was ew. Oh, ew. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's the little thing, Joel. For a long time, they were having the QR code, like in the post-COVID era. They didn't have the tangible bird spotting guide, and I actually like these better because it's more fun. And again, birds kind of scare me, but they are really pretty in here, and it's very fun to walk around and see if you can identify a few. Like this one, okay, it's got like a yellow on his booty, and he's black and white. What are you? That I don't speak bird. Hold on. Need to get a better look at you. Okay, you have a white front. I found you. I believe these birds to be the white-headed buffalo weaver. And I like weaver birds because they're part of the Color of Friendship, which is without a doubt the best Disney Channel original movie we have watched in preparing for our podcast, Zetus Lapidus. If you're not following along, come join us. We've been rewatching every Disney Channel original movie in chronological order and then spending a lot of time discussing them. It's warning explicit, but very fun. Oh, hi. Oh, look at that hawk. All right, you're kind of cute. Ooh, look at these guys. They have weird bills that look like spoons. I don't think they're on here, but I do think maybe these ducks are on here. Because that's not normal for them. They're very cute. I think that is the marbled teal. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like the animal trails are so underrated. It's really nice to just stroll through here at your own pace. Kids can burn off a little bit of energy. if you sit and watch for a while, you can see some really cool animal experiences. And it's just very relaxing and a great way to kind of get away from the crowds because they're usually not very busy either. There's also the Maharaja Jungle Trek in Asia, which got tigers and water buffalo and different antelope and bats. But that actually opened up a few months after the park did. Look, meerkats.
This is typically what you would see what their home would look like. They would
Little
take over
Timons. Here we have the gorilla habitat. It's a little later in the day, so I don't know if we'll be able to see anybody. I don't see any, but let's go look out for the boles. Look how cool. Hello. Just having snacks. Now, the cast member did just tell me that she believes the Bachelor group has already gone in for the night, but all 3 of the big male Bachelor gorillas, as seen by this previously shot footage, they have been here since opening day. So that's really cool. And they are massive and so amazing to look at. Also, this is bonkers. The detail in this park is so over the top and insane. I have been to this park hundreds of times. It is my favorite park. And I'm always noticing new details. Look at this. I've never noticed that. They have made it seem like someone's camping up there. My assumption is it's a poacher to go with the theme of Kilimanjaro safaris. But like, that's probably been there for 25 years. Look, more gorillas. They're just so amazing. Look at the little baby climbing. It's really hard to see her. There she is. You can see her little arm. I wonder if that's Grace, who, if you watch Magic of Disney Animal Kingdom, which I cannot recommend enough, was having trouble climbing and they had to teach her. Look at that. Oh my God.
By one hand,
The one that's the highest is Grace? Yeah. But in the show I saw she didn't know how to climb. She's come so far.
She has.
Oh my God, this
she
is
loves
so
to
cool.
climb now. And she loves teaching her little half-sister Ada.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Especially with the climbing down, she's improved. That was the worst thing, was climbing down for her.
I am obsessed with that show. It is so cool.
Like when she climbed up into a tree out here, she didn't want to climb down, she'd just belly flop onto a bush. Inside, she'd belly flop onto her mom.
Yeah. Why am I crying over a gorilla? If you watch the show, you know that Grace didn't know how to climb and they had to like teach her how to do it with her mom's help, and it was so sweet, and now she's the highest gorilla in the tree. Oh, I am unstable. What a story. What an inspiration, Grace. Oh, what an absolutely splendid trek on the trail. Do note that the trails usually close a little bit earlier than the park. So you're going to want to check the My Disney Experience app to make sure you know when they close if you'd like to do them. Same thing with safaris. If the park is open later during busier seasons, safaris usually closes around 6 or 7. So just make sure you're checking in the app on these kind of animal themed encounters because they can't run all day. Animals got to sleep. Inspired by the gorillas, I had to pick up this Gorilla Falls Exploration Sundae at Tamu Tamu. Again, that was an opening day snack spot. This delicious looking sundae is a brownie with vanilla ice cream and caramel sauce. And then it's got a fruity trail mixture on it, they said, which looks suspiciously like Fruity Pebbles, plus some like crispy pearls. And then it's got a white chocolate decal of Kijana, who's one of the gorilla bachelors on the trail. And a cast member on the trail told me he was the model for the Disney movie, The One and Only Ivan. So that must be why they used him, because they had some sweet press photos from him already. I'm excited for this. Sorry, Flamingo. This is way better than the cupcake earlier. This brownie is gooey and warm. Love the contrast with the vanilla ice cream. Love the little crunch and crispiness from the cereal. If you know me, you know my favorite kind of treat is simple deliciousness, and that's exactly what this is. Like, who doesn't like a brownie with ice cream and Fruity Pebbles? Now, I will say, there are much more unique treats you can get in Animal Kingdom. Some of my favorite desserts in Animal Kingdom include the churros at the Nomad Lounge, the ice cream cookie sandwich over in Dino Land. Not really a dessert, but definitely sweet is the Night Blossom, that delicious iconic slushy drink from Pandora. So I understand if you come to Disney World and you don't want to get just like a brownie sundae, but it's very, very good. I love the Fruity Pebbles on top. And I like that it literally has a picture of an animal you can see. This is listed as one of the Earth Day treats, which means it would be going away at the end of April, but sometimes Disney keeps the treats out longer if people like them or they've got extra supplies. So fingers crossed this one sticks around because it's simple and it's cute and it's delightful. It's the real Animal Kingdom. Yes, it's a wild gator. It's Florida. Here in Florida, if it's a body of water, you can pretty much guess that there's some kind of creature in it. That's why I don't swim in things in Florida that I can't see the bottom of. You know what? Thank you, little gator, for providing the perfect segue for me to talk about conservation. Thank you. If the gators get too big, Disney will relocate them somewhere else. Most likely on property, because when they purchased all the land for Walt Disney World, Walt Disney himself wanted to make sure that some of the land would be forever dedicated to conservation. So 1/3 of this land, twice the size of the island of Manhattan, as big as the city of San Francisco, 1/3 of that will never be developed because Walt said so, and it will be preserved for conservation reasons. So if they have a gator that's too big, somebody will come get him and they'll take him out there. And he'll live his happy little gator life. And now we are headed to our final land, but not our final stop, but our final land in Animal Kingdom. Welcome, friends, to Dino Land USA, one of the most underappreciated lands in Disney World. Dino Land USA looked a lot different back in the day. For starters, it was sponsored by McDonald's, which meant you could actually get McDonald's at several places around here, including this opening day spot, which is now called Trilobites. At one point, I believe it was called Dino Diner, and then it was called Petra Fried. Get it? Like petrified, but fries. And it exclusively sold McDonald's French fries, which is undeniably the best snack you could get. Dino Land USA has a wild backstory that really got expanded when Dino-Rama was added. That's actually where I did my college program at Primeval World, may it rest in pieces, and Triceratops Spin. But those were not opening day attractions. Here in Dino Land, they had a variety of paleontology-themed experiences, like the M Fossil Preparation Lab, which was seeing the sites where the original remains of Dino Sue, the largest intact T-Rex skeleton ever found. And Dino Sue, a replica of her anyway, actually sits outside of Dinosaur, the attraction. They also had the 1998 Dinosaur Jubilee, which allowed you to, quote, meander through dino artifacts and see casts of spectacular real dinosaur skeletons. Those are no longer around, but you know what is? The Cretaceous Trail, which is a walking path with replicas of dinosaurs and plants that have been around since the age of the dinosaur. Nowadays, they've converted the Cretaceous Trail into being a character meet and greet spot where you can meet characters like Chip and Dale and Daisy. Another surviving opening day spot in Dino Land USA, Restaurantosaurus. This is currently where you can get burgers and chicken nuggets and kind of classic theme park fare, but when it opened, this was a McDonald's. Like you could get a Big Mac and a cheeseburger and McDonald's fries right here. This is also the original character dining location in Animal Kingdom. It was Donald's Safari Breakfast, which is now held at Tusker House, was held here, and I have very vivid memories of coming to this character breakfast. And down on the other side of Dino Land, as you head to Asia and Expedition Everest, there's the Theater in the Wild, which has been here for all 25 years. Nowadays, you can see Finding Nemo the musical. Prior to that, my personal favorite resident of that theater, Tarzan Rocks. But the opening day show that was very short-lived was called Journey into Jungle Book. And it was a live musical performance featuring characters and music from, you guessed it, the Jungle Book. However, the headliner attraction of Dino Land USA has been around since the beginning. The OG thrill ride, before there was Everest, before there was Cali, before there was Flight of Passage, there was Dinosaur. Well, actually there was Countdown to Extinction. Hi, Sue. Back to what I was saying. This attraction was originally called Countdown to Extinction. Very, very similar. There was a few different lighting effects, and instead of Aladar, the iguanodon out here, there was a Triceratops because that's Joe Rohde's favorite dinosaur. However, when the movie Dinosaur was coming out, everyone's favorite film from the year 2000, Michael Eisner decided there could be a little synergy between the film studio and the theme parks, so they re-themed Countdown to Extinction to be called Dinosaur. They added in a few things to make it more realistic like the movie, but there you have it, the history of Dinosaur. It's been here since the beginning, and it's been one of my favorites ever since. Dinosaur has a 40-inch height requirement, and it usually doesn't get too long of a line the way that Flight of Passage or even Everest will. It's like 10 minutes right now towards the end of the night. And while it does have a shorter height requirement than either of those two, it's definitely scarier. Your kids are much more likely to cry on this one because it's loud, it's dark, it's a shaky vehicle, and there's big animatronic dinosaurs running at them. But allow us to go pay homage to your friend and mine, Dr. Grant Seeker. And you know what? I know I say it every time, but it's more applicable now more than ever because I've been talking about McDonald's. Those pipes in the loading area have chemical formulas on them. That is the chemical makeup of ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise because of McDonald's.
Hello there. Welcome to our little trans-dimensional joyride, folks. I'm Dr. Seeker, your friendly controller and a heck of a paleontologist, if I do say so myself. Take a look at this guy. He's an iguanodon, and I'm certain that he is the key to understanding these magnificent creatures. I tagged him with a locator during an unauthorized field trip. Otherwise, I'd be traveling with you.
Warning, meteor shower in range.
Just a little one. But at least this one's a vegetarian. Four-wheel drive, move it! Get us out of here! Now
Carnotaurus.
I guess you made it back with you. I better find him before security does. Thanks for everything.
I love Dinosaur and I will not apologize. Some people hate it because it's loud, because it throws you around a little bit. Some people hate it because they say Indiana Jones out in Disneyland is better. So, this is what we got, and I love it. Now, Dinoland USA, like I said, very controversial. Not a lot of people love the backstory. They think it's kind of a waste of space. And I get where they're coming from, especially since Primeval World is closed. However, if you go watch my Secrets video, I get into the whole backstory and the detail, and it's absolutely incredible how much thought went into this land. And it's been suggested by Disney that they may turn this into a Zootopia theme, which I would like, and I think it fits, but I would be sad. There's just one thing left here in Dinoland USA from opening day. The Boneyard. There are a ton of little ones in here right now, so don't mind my filming because I am trying not to capture any children in the video. I feel like it's towards the end of the night. I feel like every kid in here was promised by their parent they could do the playground later, and their parents were all hoping that the kids would forget, and the kids didn't forget because I've never seen it more busy in here. Anyway, the Boneyard is a very cool dinosaur dig themed playground. It's got tons of slides, a giant sandbox containing a mammal, things to stomp on that make noises and roar, tunnels, lots of fun stuff. This is a great place if you've got little ones because they can burn off some energy and run around and have a great time. It's especially good if you've got maybe older kids that are riding Everest or Dinosaur and you want something for those little ones. I promise they're gonna love it. This might be their favorite thing on their whole vacation. But yes, the Boneyard's been here since day one, and now I'm getting out of here. And the final stop on our tour of Animal Kingdom today wouldn't even be a trip to DAC without a stop at the Nomad Lounge, arguably the best thing they've added in these past 25 years. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, Molly, you only visited the Nomad Lounge in this video and worked it into your shot list so that you could selfishly go sit at this tropical oasis paradise, and you're gonna somehow theme it to this video. And to that I would say, first of all, how dare you? You're not completely wrong. There actually are two very good reasons for me to be sitting at the Nomad Lounge when it comes to this video. One, they have one of the Earth Day beverages here that I'm really, really excited to try. It sounded the best of anything I looked at on the foodie guide. And two, this is the perfect place for me to tell you about Beastly Kingdom. If you remember way back to the beginning of this video, I talked about how Animal Kingdom was supposed to feature creatures of the past, the present, and the mythical. Now we've seen the creatures of the past at Dinosaur. We've obviously seen the creatures of the present at the Gorilla Falls and the Kilimanjaro Safaris. But what about the creatures of the mythical? Also think back to when I said that Camp Mini Mickey was a last-minute addition. And that's because in this space, right over here, right behind these trees, is Pandora the World of Africa, formerly Camp Mini Mickey, but it was supposed to be Beastly Kingdom, which was going to be a land all about the mythical creatures like dragons and unicorns. Beastly Kingdom was going to be divided into two different sections, Beasts of Good and Beasts of Evil. On the good side, there was an attraction pitched and concept art and in the works was called Quest of the Unicorn, and it was going to be a maze attraction that led you to a unicorn. There was also talks of a Fantasia-themed boat ride that would take you through all of the mythical creatures you see in Fantasia with the classic music. On the evil side of Beastly Kingdom was going to be a roller coaster called Dragon's Tower. The story of Dragon's Tower was said to be about bats that were trying to steal the riches from the dragon, and they enlisted you, the guest, to help. But of course, it goes out of control, and it ends with you almost getting charred and coming very close face to face with the dragon. There was also talk of like a Loch Ness Monster attraction. So what happened? As I said, it was costing $800 million, almost $1 billion to build this park, and they were over budget. A lot of the Beastly Kingdom attractions were very technologically advanced. They were taking more time, more money, they were getting delayed more than they expected. So basically it came down to Dinoland USA and Beastly Kingdom. Dinoland USA was using technology they already had. Indiana Jones at Disneyland, that's what Dinosaur is. A playground, restaurants, walkthrough attractions. It was going to be much more cost effective to build Dinoland USA than it was Beastly Kingdom. So they put Beastly Kingdom on the back burner, shoved in Camp Mini Mickey as a temporary placeholder, and said that Camp Mini Mickey would close a year later to make room for Beastly Kingdom. That obviously didn't happen because Camp Mini Mickey, as I already told you, lasted until 2014, which is, by my math, 16 years after the park opened. So alas, we never got Beastly Kingdom, but we did get Pandora, the World of Avatar. I think Beastly Kingdom sounds cooler, but I do like those floating mountains. There are some remnants of Beastly Kingdom that you can see around the park, however, sitting right across from me, why this is, can we see it? Hold on. Right there. That is one of the few things that was actually built for Beastly Kingdom. It looks like a dragon mouth sculpture. This would have been the entrance to the land. Also, if you look at the original Animal Kingdom logo, where you've got the different animals walking in a line, you've got like an elephant and an antelope. One of them is a dragon. Additionally, over the ticket booths outside the park, one of them is a dragon head. And that's again because it was supposed to be past, present, and mythical animals. But that's not the end of the story of Beastly Kingdom. As you can imagine, some of those Imagineers were less than thrilled that they had poured their heart and soul into an attraction or into a land that never came to be. So a lot of them left and went down the road to Universal, which was opening their second theme park, Islands of Adventure. And if you know anything about Universal and Islands of Adventure, then you may know that there is a land dedicated to mythical creatures. Now, much of this is gone, but this particular land opened with the flying unicorn and dueling dragons. That's right, I'm talking about the Lost Continent. A lot of the Imagineers that were working on Beastly Kingdom quit and went to Universal to help open up Islands of Adventure and the Lost Continent, which, while now a lot of it is closed to make way for Wizarding World, when that land opened, it was all about these creatures. So, in a way, Beastly Kingdom did come true. Just not here. But enough about Beastly Kingdom. Let's move on to our special Earth Day celebration. First of all, this may be the cutest cocktail I've ever received. It's called the Elephant and the Bee, and it's made with Cruxland gin, honey simple syrup, house-made lavender bitters, and lemon juice. This cocktail is inspired by African farmers that plant bees to scare away elephants from their crops. They tell this story a lot on Kilimanjaro safaris, but basically, elephants were roaming into farmers' crops, which is a big problem for the farmers. However, elephants are afraid of bees. So Oxford University, a couple Florida universities, and the Disney Conservation Fund worked with the farmers to come up with the solution of the bee fence posts. That way, the bees would keep the elephants out and not ruin their crops, which they need for a profit. Plus, they could take the honey from the bees and have two incomes. I think it's so cute that they dedicated this drink to that concept. I also couldn't resist the Tiffin's bread service. It has changed since I've had the bread service. So this is on the full-time menu here at Nomad Lounge, but you've got some crispy pappardelle, some milk bread, and some pão de queijo Brazilian cheese bread. Accompanying that, you've got some coconut curry sauce right here, ginger pear chutney, and guava sauce. First up is Too Cute Bee drink. Ooh, that is so refreshing. I'm not even a gin drinker, and that is lovely. I don't love that it's purple because I'm afraid it's going to stay in my mouth, but hopefully since it's the gin that's purple and the lavender syrup, it won't. It's not like it's food coloring. That is light, that is crisp, that is refreshing. It tastes like gin and lemonade. What more could you ask for? Ooh, sipping that more, you can definitely taste the honey as well. Also very excited to try this. He said this one goes best with the guava. I love pau de quejo. It's one of my favorites at the festivals every year. It is cheesy, it is doughy. It's made with tapioca too, so I believe if you're gluten-free, you can eat it. Delightful, and that guava added a little bit of sweetness. I'm gonna do the ginger pear chutney on the pappardelle. Ooh. Do I love pappardelle. Crispity, crunchy, it's got a little bit of salt on there, balanced really nicely with that ginger and pear. And then I'm gonna do the milk bread and the curry. There's a little bit of spice, citrus in that dip. I thought the pau de quejo was gonna be the winner hands down, but that is delightful. This is a delightful little treat. Very shareable. All the food here I feel like is very shareable. Because you've got the sliders, you've got a charcuterie, you've got the churros. I had not tried this new bread service. I'm so glad I did. Can definitely recommend. And obviously I could recommend the Nomad Lounge. A little bonus fun fact at Nomad Lounge, well, really at Tiffin's, the signature restaurant attached. These beautiful columns in the middle, these were done by artists from Bali, and they used to be in Camp Mini Mickey, but they didn't want to destroy them because they're so beautiful, so they moved them into Tiffin's. One more stop before we wrap this baby up. Head into Island Mercantile. I want to see if they have the special Earth Day pin, and you know what? I may just have to buy these ears too. Look at this Bruno fanny pack. This is fantastic. This is gonna turn into Molly Finds Cool Merch Items video. Continuing Molly Finds Cool Merch stuff, the Toy Story Summer Collection is here. It's Dayglow and it's Toy Story. Look at Buzz holding a hamburger. Oh my gosh. How much is this? $36 before a discount. They've even got merch for Pixar shorts. How cool is that? Well, I had enough self-control not to buy the ears because I bought this instead. In here is a mug that I definitely don't need, but when this very, very cute, nostalgic throwback collection came out, the mug sold out almost instantly. And I really wanted the Minnie and Daisy one because girl power, plus I like the ombre mug, and I have not seen that one since, and I just saw it. So I needed to buy it. The collection's so cute. It's like Mickey and Donald are on one, Goofy and Pluto, Minnie and Daisy, and then Chip and Dale, and it's like this throwback artwork. I have a shirt from the collection too. It's so cute. Anyway, the real reason I went to the store was, one, to find the Earth Day pin, which I did. It's a very cute Bambi number. But two, was to buy something so I could make a donation to the Disney Conservation Fund. Since it started, the Disney Conservation Fund has donated over $120 million to different conservation causes. And here at Animal Kingdom, anytime you make a purchase inside one of the merchandise shops or even Creature Comforts, which is Starbucks, you have the chance to become a conservation hero. All you have to do is make a donation as little as $1 or as much as you want, and Disney will match that donation to the Conservation Fund. So I just donated $20, which really means $40 are going to help animals and conservation causes around the world. Whenever I get coffee, I add a couple dollars on too, and as a bonus, you get a cool button that you can wear in your backpack or proudly so people know that you gave money to the Conservation Fund. This is hashtag not an ad. No one's ever told me to say this, but the Conservation Fund is the group that did things like help figure out the honey and the bee situation in Africa. They have worked to help protect lions. They have worked to help protect tigers, all kinds of wild animals that you know and love. They are working to help protect. So I love it. It's really easy. Just add on a couple bucks when you buy something in a merchandise shop and you'll have help. So obviously cannot do an Animal Kingdom. Oh my God, there's baby ducks. I can't do an Animal Kingdom Earth Day video without talking about it. I'm gonna show you the ducks now. They're not like babies, but they're like teenagers. Oh my God, hi guys. They are so cute. Hi. Mom's like, make sure you don't talk to strangers, kids. Hi. Oh my God, hi. They're so close to me. Oh my God. Oh my God, I gotta zoom out. Oh my God. I love you all. Bye. I cannot think of a better way to end an Animal Kingdom birthday / Earth Day video than with baby ducks. Gosh, I love this park so much. Full disclosure, I shot this Earth week leading up to Earth Day because I will be in Disneyland on Animal Kingdom's actual 25th birthday. So I'm sad to have missed out, but hopefully you had fun following along this kind of pre-birthday celebration, seeing a little bit of Animal Kingdom's past and present. This is my all-time favorite park in Walt Disney World. I just have the best time here. I think it's so, so beautiful. The food is great, the attractions are great, the entertainment is amazing. So hopefully this made you love Animal Kingdom a little bit more, because it actually gets the most hate of any of the Disney parks, and I don't get it. Wish Animal Kingdom a happy birthday in the comments by letting us know what your favorite thing is in this park. What other kind of videos do you want us to make? Let us know that too. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on social media, come hang out with us on Discord. And until next time, friends, I'm Molly, and it's been wild. Bye.